Pearly shells from the ocean shining in the sun, covering the shore. When I see them, my heart says that I love you more than all those pretty pearly shells. More than all, it's breakfast with love.
Poncho Man! Yo! Day 4, Breakfast with Bob. We are brought to you by EAS Sports Nutrition, Hoka One One, Polar Oscar Wellness, Velo Fix, Four Seasons Hualalai, where we'll be hosting our championship edition on Sunday, and we are airing on triathlonworld.com. Our next guest, coming off winning her second ITU World Championship long course in Oklahoma City, Jodie Swallow. Here, Jodie, you get this thing. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, 7 years apart, so it was a long wait for that. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident, and let's hope that it translates on Saturday. No guarantees.
So this year, you broke your elbow. Was at Ironman South Africa, and how long did it take you to come back from that?
Well, I didn't really have much room for manoeuvre, to be honest, because the championship race, I had flunked at this race last year, so I needed to win a championship
And what
race.
happened last year?
I just overheated.
During a run?
Yeah, I did what everyone shouldn't do here, which is misjudge and mispace, and I overcooked myself.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
So, so I did that, and I didn't have enough points to kind of. I just wanted an automatic entry, basically. Sure. And Ironman South Africa usually is that automatic entry for me. Just go and win that. But
right.
Had the accident, and then there was Cairns, and there was Brazil, which was a bit close, and Texas, which was a bit close. So Cairns was the one that I had to go for. Had to stay on the turbo for 6 weeks and get out there and just give it my all, and it worked.
And Cairns was the Asia Pacific Championships.
That's right, yeah.
And you won that wire to wire. You won your 14th overall. Anytime you finish in the top 20 overall is pretty amazing. Broke the bike course record by 17 minutes. Broke the course record by 4 minutes. Was that just one of those days where everything felt effortless?
Absolutely not. I felt terrible all day.
Did you really?
Yeah, terrible. And I'd made so many mistakes. It was a really hot, humid course.
Yeah.
I assumed it was Australian winter, and it totally wasn't. Well, it was their winter, but it's Queensland, so it could be anything. Hot. Yeah. And, I felt terrible, but I just had to battle on through. And it gives you confidence if you can just do that on a bad day, and battle and overcome what wasn't really meant to be. I wasn't meant to be there. So, yeah, I was proud.
When you look back at Olympic, the ITU circuit and all the rest of that, what did you take from that helps you in this racing?
I took a lot. I mean, real kind of preparation for races. I've noticed that there's a lot of talk here, like how you're feeling and I'm going to win and this and that. And I just don't do that because I don't need to do that. I know that I can race on the day.
Yes.
If someone sets a gun out, I'll go.
Right.
That's just my instinct.
You're a racer. I
got the instinct from swimming and running before ITU racing, but also, from that process of, the 7 years I spent in that, I'll definitely race. And here, you need to be able to race, but you also need this other element, this patience element that I need to develop and hopefully will develop by Saturday.
Well, you finished 4th here before, right?
Yeah.
So what did you take away from that? You finished 4th. I mean, once you finish in the top 5, you can win this race. And you certainly have that type of talent where you can swim, bike, and run. I bet you every woman in this field, and the top women, at some point or other, you've been in front of them in a race somewhere around the world.
Yeah, that was the year I got a penalty on the bike. So
that's right.
I was put back 4 minutes and raced my own race. So that's what I take from that. Even with a 4-minute penalty, I raced my own race and I came out the best result I've ever had here. So it's a good lesson for me. It's a good lesson to remember.
Sometimes, because you're a front pack swimmer, so you're going to be up there with everybody. And sometimes it seems like the women more than the guys, people are surging early, before the airport, right? People are like, it's like a bike race. And somebody with your penalty, when you're a little further back, you could just look at your power and be consistent and not worry about the other people.
Absolutely. I mean, if I look at the power we were pushing at the first half of the bike last year,
yes,
it's not really a surprise that the race broke apart. I mean, maybe one of the girls was capable of that, but I wasn't capable of keeping that power, and the girls behind even less so. So
right.
It's a game of tactics. It's really difficult. We've all trained really hard for this, and it's a build-up of the whole year. So we're just excited, and you think you're in the form of your life, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go faster here. It's such a hard course, and you're not going to knock 15 minutes off your best time.
No.
But it's easy to sort of be kind of pushed into that way of thinking.
I remember I was interviewing this Olympic marathoner, Frank Shorter, and he was saying that the mistake people make in the Olympics, and I think that's similar to this, is they try to be a superhero. And rather than doing what they normally do, because usually if you look at the Olympic medalists, they're usually people who come closest to what they normally do. They don't do something ridiculous. There's not that many world records set. Do you see that as sort of the same type of thing as here?
Yeah, absolutely. If you do a PB on this course, your PB wasn't good enough beforehand, I think. Unless, of course, you run like Rinny runs here, which is the fastest that she runs all year.
Right.
But she's particularly good at this course. I think for the normal competitor, or even the normal pro competitor, this is a toughie, and you have to treat it as a toughie, as you would, an Alpe d'Huez course or an Embrunman course. It's hard.
When you look back at your career, because you've been racing since, how old were you when you first started racing?
Well, I started racing competitively as a swimmer, like when I was 8. Yeah.
So you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
What do you look back at as, not so much, we can look and say you won this race, you won Cannes, and look at those and say those are your best performances in 4th place here. What do you look at as the events that meant the most to you in terms of maybe telling you that I can be really good at this?
I definitely think that recently I savour the victories a bit more. We have this kind of list in our heads of our top, 6 best, you write them down often, your 6 best achievements. And unless a result usurps those, if I was to podium here, that would probably get on that list.
Right.
The ITU Long Distance Worlds gets on that list and usurps a World Cup or something. But, other than that, it doesn't really, the other events just kind of go into the background, but they don't really go into a haze for the actual competitor. I remember every single one of them, and I definitely remember the ones I felt happiest in, that I could call James and just say, we did well, and sort of acknowledge the personal circumstances around it as well. You could have a great result, like in 2009 when I won ITU Long Distance World. I was a mess. Personally, like a real mess. I'd just come out of an abusive relationship. I was down on my knees. I didn't have a coach. I didn't really enjoy it that much, and I just went home and got through Christmas, if you know what I mean. But this time I feel like I can really sit back and think, we actually did well, and that's really valuable.
It's very valuable. So, and James is coaching you now.
Yeah, James coaches me.
Now, how hard was that to basically have your significant other as your coach? He's not here 5 feet away listening, so behind the pole.
It's a lot better. He coached me once in 2012 after I left Brett Sutton.
Yes.
And it didn't work.
Why?
I think I was just a bit mouthy.
That's what he told me. He said, it didn't work. She was a bit mouthy.
But I've changed a lot, as you are supposed to, as you get older and more sensible. And I just find it a lot easier to have someone tell me exactly what they want me to do, and I'll just follow it to the letter. That's what I did as a swimmer, with swim coaches, and it worked really well. And he sees I can hide nothing.
He sees it all.
Yeah, he sees it all. If I'm tired, he knows. If I'm overly hungry, if I'm overly moody, he sees it all. That's quite difficult unless you just accept that he's right about everything in terms of training. And he looks after me as well. And when I am tired, he does stuff.
He backs it off.
Yeah, he backs it off, and he makes dinner, and he makes sure I rest, and he takes over the arduous things in life.
So the other part of you that obviously you've become a little bit of a dolphin whisperer, right? You're out there. People are lucky to see a dolphin, and you've got a whole school, and they're playing games with you. What the heck? What you were telling me about stuff this morning, where they're basically playing a little hide and seek, a little catch. What were they doing?
Yeah, we play with the tea leaves. So if you notice, well, not many people get to swim with a dolphin
No,
pack.
no. My wife has the dolphin envy that you be swimming with dolphins.
They sometimes have a little tea leaf under their fin.
Okay.
And they're actually playing with each other. But some of these dolphins, if you participate, they'll drop the leaf for you. You chase a leaf, you throw it for them. The other day, he just left it in the water, and I swam to it. Just as my left hand was getting there, takes it with his nose. And people are like seeing this from a distance. James was watching from a distance. He's just like, oh my God, you actually are the dolphin whisperer. And I just think that I feel so comfortable with them.
Yes.
I just feel so at home in water, and I can maneuver myself so easily, and I just feel natural. And I think they probably just pick up on that.
Well, and do you feel that you have an affinity with this island now? I mean, you obviously didn't grow up in the tropics,
No.
but do you come here? Because when we look at a Chrissy Wellington or a Dave Scott or Mirinda, they love this place. There's just something spiritual about it, something that gives them power. Do you feel at home here?
I don't feel it's my home.
Yes.
I think it's an amazing place.
Yes.
It's wild and hard and tough and very, very special as an island itself. I think if I was to win the race as many times as those people have won the race, I would feel it was home. We tend to do that.
It sort of built their home.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Built a couple houses for them.
Yeah. We tend to, we do that. Athletes do that with races in terms of, we really savour the places that give us the biggest victories. Not so much Oklahoma for me.
No, Oklahoma was, that was the place you went to race.
That's right.
Well, and talk a little bit about that. That was an 18-mile run basically 2 weeks ago. Was that a tough decision? Because that's, racing, it's going to be hot, but it's a long run 2 weeks before the biggest race of the year.
Well, funnily enough, I actually think I might be undercooked.
That's good.
I do 18-mile runs quite regularly on a Sunday as a long run. Haven't really done much work since then. And no, it wasn't a hard decision for me because I am used to racing quite regularly. Yes. And as a Brett Sutton athlete, I always did better in the second race. And I've never done a race that long and then backed it up again. But I'm pretty fit at the moment. And I hope, if it starts to ache on the bike, maybe that might be a good thing in terms of being able to pace it properly. And actually, as long as I can run strong, I'm not too worried. So
you talk about that. So you're 6-time South Africa 70.3 champion. So that's a place that feels like home.
Yeah, South Africa is home. We bought a house last year.
Yes.
We're going to get married 1K away from that house, 2 months' time. So that is home. I'm always a Brit, of course.
Yes.
But I'll never give up my British roots. But South Africa is a place that I've just loved over many years. Deli Carr gave me an article. He gave me an article to take the mickey out of me, actually, because I was on the front cover as a 20-year-old.
Yes. Wow.
And he was just laughing. And then I actually read the article, and I was talking about Stellenbosch and about what an amazing place it was and how I went with the British team. And I live there now.
That's pretty fun.
These things in life, like these patterns, I'm not so much, spiritual, but some of the things that crop up are quite weird and wonderful. And I think just go with it if it's calling you. I always knew that I would be happy in Stellenbosch.
So what would it mean to you, not just for your career, but you just personally, to win this race?
It would mean an awful lot. I would be so happy. I would probably play that One Moment in Time by Whitney Houston in my head. That's, you fantasize about these things. And I don't think that I've actually done that in any race. I haven't felt that special in any of my wins. But this one's really elusive. And I think possibly, the most challenging race for me. I don't think it's suited to me. And I think it's been a long time trying to get a successful result here. So it would mean an absolute world. But I am really happy having not won it anyway, and I never thought I would be. Yes. I now realise that happiness in life doesn't necessarily actually have to come from achievement. It can come besides achievement. But I'm not saying I wouldn't want to double up on the happiness.
Did it take you a while to come to grips with that as a person, you're far more than just the last victory?
I think I still go through dips and lows.
Yes.
But at school, I remember some of my friends used to call me a troubled soul. And
really?
I troubled soul, because everything would revolve around attention, around my achievement, and even academically, everything. It's probably from coming into the sport so young, and always
it was your whole life.
Winning medals and working my whole life basically. So I think that I think I'm stable now with it, but you've always got that competitive edge, and I hope that I can keep a curb on it for the rest of my life.
So as a swimmer, what was your stroke? What were you?
I am individual medley.
See, to me, I always have this argument in terms of the toughest thing in endurance sports. Forget Ironman, the rest of it. 400 fly, 200 IM.
The other way around, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
200 fly, 400.
200, yeah, that's right. 200 fly, 400 IM.
Yeah.
What's tougher?
It depends how fast you go. I did both of those events.
Yeah. So you like the tougher the better?
Yeah.
Did you run steeplechase too?
No, I didn't. Probably because I'm not very agile.
Okay.
But no, I would say 400 IM.
400 IM.
But I was better at 400 IM, so I probably went a bit harder.
I love that. Jodie, thank you so much for taking time. Have a wonderful race on Saturday. Always a pleasure to catch up with you. Congratulations on another world title. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Having a world title coming into this race, that helps.
Yeah, I hope so.
Poncho Man, take us out.
Steed up, little darling, steed up. Come on, baby. Breakfast with Bob. Oh, yeah.
Poncho Man!